All right, gamers, I got a question for you. Would you rather be this guy or this guy? This guy or this guy?
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy!
Stick to the plane. Oh, gee. Oh, fuck. Get my intervention.
Okay, I got one more. One more. Would you rather be this guy?
Yeah, it's still happening. Yeah. This is still happening, Toph.
It is, yeah.
How long has this set been going on, dude?
I don't know.
I'm falling asleep here.
Or the motherfucking go? The concept of being cool or lame in video games, it's such an interesting topic because there is this almost unwritten gamer code that everybody seems to just kind of know. It's like, okay, in real life, we have those too, right? We know that this motherfucker right here, this dude is cool. And this guy, you know, maybe the opposite. I'm not sure. I'm not going to judge him, but, you know, is not given cool. I think the interesting part is how we have also brought this over to video games, and we just kind of sort of know what is cool and what is not sometimes, or, you know, at least we think we do. A wise man once said, leave a man in a room alone and damn it, he will only upgrade strength. You cannot convince me otherwise, because if this is not the coolest way to play through a Souls game, then I don't know what is. Who doesn't want to fucking play the game as like guts, dude? But is that really all it takes? Just the idea of looking like a cool anime character is enough to consider the entire playstyle cool? Not exactly, right? I think this is where we need to break down what coolness really is in games and the form that it kind of takes. Appearance is one. We also have playstyle, and then there's a lot of psychology shit we're going to talk about. Like I was just talking about with the guts thing, appearance is probably one of the easiest and most surface level ways to let a player feel cool in games. Maybe the game lets you put on different armor or clothes, or maybe it's not that and maybe it's more of a character selection thing. I'll say it right now. If you were that dude who picks Mario in any of the Mario sports, party, or kart games, right? Like, I don't know, man. I just think we have a lot cooler options out here. I don't know. Have you seen this fucking guy? Now, raw customization for the sake of look alone is only the first layer of what really makes look a big factor of being cool in games. I mean, I guess it's cool to look like this in Fortnite, but it's definitely a lot cooler to rock some shit like this that was maybe earned or unlocked through hard work or a certain set of game parameters. There's a reason recon armor in Halo 3 was such a coveted look. It's because, yeah, I guess it does look pretty fucking sick on its own, I'll give it that.
5-star general with recon armor. This is probably the sickest thing I've ever seen on Halo.
But the impressive part is that you also know the person wearing it must have done something that impressed the game devs, resulting in them giving them recon. Or later on, you know, they completed the Vidmaster achievement, which that shit's no joke to finish. And even if it wasn't recon, I still think it was pretty cool to unlock other things like the Hayabusa armor and the sword. If you continue on, Halo Reach kept that same trend of giving the player the options to unlock what they would be considered cool armor options. Everybody wanted to rock inclement weather, right? The skull helmet, whatever it was. Unlocking something that looks cool certainly feels good, right? But it's even better when you're able to unlock certain things that both look cool and are actually functionally significant. This is where the third layer of the appearance category comes in. Back in the day, dude, seeing an MF with the Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker in WoW, that was like a holy shit moment. For you non-WoW people, getting that shit required a massive grind of materials that were all pretty hard to find and come across, so like, you know that dude is really about that life if they have that thing. And then it's also just like the best tank weapon in the game, so damn, you know they're gonna be nasty at tanking too. That means they're being good and they're looking good while doing it. That is just the straight up definition of being cool in games. Being dripped out with some badass weapon or armor and messing shit up with it, that's certainly one way to go about being good while looking good. But another is where the actual gameplay part comes in. Okay, first off, sorry all you sports ball ass gamers out there. We're gonna go back to the real life comparisons real quick. We got any hoop heads in chat? I'm gonna ask you all to picture who are some of the coolest basketball players in NBA history, right? I'll give you a second. All right, cool. So we can all agree that it's this guy right here, right? AI was not only absolutely cold at basketball, but he was just exceptionally dripped out while doing it. He was fast as hell and flashy, but like at the same time, so composed and precise. Just an absolute legend, right? Well, this shit applies to video games too. There's a reason we all root for the Mangos of the world out there. He's playing what most would consider the sickest character while also just messing people up doing it, you know, and playing in an aggressive fashion, which is another thing people consider cool. Maybe it's Kazuya players in Tekken, or people who main op in CS, right? Or I seem to bring up trick shotting and quick scoping a lot on this channel now, but that is such a great example. People that used to top the leaderboard in a COD lobby while also sniping the whole time, like they were the ones that always got the metaphorical bitches. That being these dudes. Think of how the average game with roles in it plays out. Something like Marvel Rivals, an MMO, or maybe an RPG. For whatever reason, healing is usually not considered cool. Same with tanking in certain games, and then everyone and their mother wants to play some sort of DPS or DPS carry. The dream of being that rare Spider-Man player who actually does carry the lobby, getting like flashy kills left and right, that's what so many gamers dream of. Hell, we can go back to sports, but don't worry, this time in video game form, all the 2K bros out there, they're gonna tell you for the most part that being the point guard, that's the coolest thing that you can do. You get to be the guy with the ball the most, you get to attempt the most shots, you do all the shit that AI did in real life. Like, it's way cooler than being the 7-foot guy that gets told to sit in the dunker spot under the basket just waiting to see if you'll ever even get a pass your way. Sorry, all you sports ball jimmies out there, I'll get off the topic. Back to something that you might know a bit better, Pokemon. Even there, we have things that are considered cool versus not cool in the way of playing like a stall team or something more aggressive. You even get the layers of appearance cool factor here too, because people love rocking fully kitted, legit shiny Pokemon into battle and then messing you up with them, right? So the question is, why exactly do people think that being aggressive in games is cool and maybe being defensive is lame? Does that sentiment vary from game to game? Is this universal? Does it vary to person? What makes the idea of playing Mario in Mario Kart the lame choice? Why is Jigglypuff less cool than Falco? Why are healers the lame ones and DPS the chads? Mostly all of this can be broken down into human nature, perception, and player psychology. People have been predisposed to the idea that a person who leads or initiates some form of action are, in the most simple sense, the quote-unquote cool guy. It's better to do something than nothing at all. We hear stuff like this ever since we're kids, right? Go out there, be assertive, make the first move in dating situations, whatever it is. Like, this is just something people are taught growing up. I've been rewatching Haikyuu recently. Minor spoilers ahead. That show's dope, so, you know. In that show, the main character, Hinata, has this fascination with being the so-called ace on his volleyball team. He desires this because of the concept of the ace alone is just cool in his head. The ace gets to be the guy, right? You score the most points on your team, you initiate actions around yourself. He is so aggressively excited about the concept of winning and being the guy and just loving volleyball that it makes perfect sense that he is the main character in the show, right? Gamers want to be this person as well in games. They want to be the DPS role that initiates stuff and wins and does it in this exaggerated fashion. Playing sniper, playing aggro, forcing your will upon the opponent, maybe leading teams, whatever it is. All of this is the initiative to be that guy. Even stuff like appearance factor, right? Wearing the recon helmet on your head. You get to show that shit off. Your prize. You get to show other people this and they understand what you did to get that. If psychologically we consider all that stuff cool. Does that automatically make the opposite not cool though? No, not exactly. There's some awesome things about playing defensive, or playing like stall in Pokemon, or being the dope ass healer who keeps all your dumbass DPS players alive, but it's not as flashy. It's not as easy to identify. Back to the Haikyuu example, it's being the Suki instead of being Hinata, blending in, being that support rather than the carry. It's still cool in its own way, it's just way harder to notice, and it's not pushed as the cool playstyle either in modern conventions. Again, nobody really thinks it's cool to pick Mario in Mario Kart. You got way more out there characters that would make you stand out more. But, damn it, there's no Mario Kart without Mario. Having this sense of cool or uncool in games, for as goofy as it might sound, is actually really important and leads to greater games because of it. For one, usually games that let players express themselves as cool or uncool usually already have a great creative gene in them that, hey, I've talked about that type of shit in a previous video, so go watch that if you haven't. But what it does create is more gameplay variety through means that might not be intentionally designed. There is nothing in the game that says playing Falco in Melee is cool or Puff is lame, but those characters, they can create that sense on their own through maybe the players they attract or what gameplay style they tend to end up leaning towards. I think it is pretty sweet, and it shows this level of personality within the characters. There's nothing in MW2 that says you get extra points on your team for hitting the sickest trick shot known to man, but because it is fucking dope as hell and cool on the merits of being extra difficult to pull off, it added a completely different layer of the game to those old COD games, right? It's like all cool really is. It's just another way for player expression to exist. It's essentially a psychological state of play that many people tend to enjoy leaning into, and I think that games that lean into this or foster this through the various means, it's usually a good, solid indicator that the game is deep and interesting. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. Probably pretty cool too.